Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful for You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Sheila, incited by the circumstances of Taylor and Luna, now entrusts their fate to her grandmother. Recent spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful indicate that Steffy Forrester Finnegan has returned and is compelled to confront the newest shocking developments regarding Luna Nozawa. However, what John Finnegan conveyed to his wife revealed a more immediate danger. Luna is incarcerated. Her most recent fabricated assault has failed to convince anyone to secure her release from incarceration. Nonetheless, it appears that two distinct narratives are poised to intersect. Sheila Carter Sharp is observing whether Taylor Hayes attempts to pursue her husband. Should that occur, or even if Sheila perceives it as real, Luna's incarceration may undergo an unforeseen shift. Deacon Sharp pursued assistance from an unconventional source. Deacon Sharp had numerous psychiatrists available for selection. However, he selected an individual from the wider Forrester family. Deacon's encounter with Taylor indicates that he is linking Sheila's aspirations for marital repair to Steffy's mother. That connection is too significant to be mere coincidence. Instead, it probably signals escalating tension that culminates in significant drama. Taylor was the sole individual who extended Sheila the benefit of the doubt recently. However, intentionally shooting Steffy obliterated any trust Taylor wished to extend to Sheila. Luna Nozawa shall not endure quietly. Luna exerted maximum effort. Indeed, that intentional pun refers to Luna's act of murdering two men in Deacon's restaurant, severing one of Sheila's remaining toes, and shooting Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, at close range in the chest, yet inexplicably sparing his life. Yamada's character exploited the information Sheila imprudently provided regarding Will Spencer's promotion party. She assumed a disguise, intoxicated her obsession, and came to a realization that evening in the auxiliary room above the most frequented dining institution in this region of Los Angeles, California. That did not lead to Will altering his love for Electra Forrester. Luna was astonished that Will did not abandon Grace's persona, whom Luna contemptuously labels as Miss Perfect, and subsequently resorted to another unscrupulous tactic. However, the punishment she requested did not yield any results, and thus the mother of Will's kid remained incarcerated. She will not accept that and has not yet encountered Sheila in the visitor's room. Therefore, it is probable that it will occur. Sheila Carter Sharp expresses her outrage. Sheila informed Lee Nozawa that she would eliminate Taylor if Budig's character developed a love relationship with Deacon due to their therapy sessions. Sheila's blunt remarks were startling and elicited surprise from Lee and the onlooking crowd. Luna is reflecting the psychological deflection that her grandmother has adopted. Both women, sharing a similar genetic background, are unable of fully assuming responsibility for their acts and subsequently resort to vilifying a superior adversary. Electra is Luna's loathed adversary. Taylor is on the brink of becoming Sheila's sworn adversary, who must be eliminated, with the potential hope that Lee's recognition of this imprudent remark could avert a disaster. Lee reveals Taylor to preserve Sheila's marriage. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful suggest that Sheila Carter has seen that Taylor Hayes is becoming excessively close to Deacon Sharp. Sheila has implored Taylor to assist in salvaging her marriage, although she is developing feelings for Deacon instead. Will Lee Finnegan disclose Taylor's contact with her patient to preserve Sheila's marriage? Sheila Carter shares her thoughts with Lee Finnegan. Sheila has been exceedingly anxious since Deacon vacated their residence. Sheila is reluctant to lose Deacon, as he is the sole individual who inspires her to improve herself. Sheila acknowledges her betrayal of Deacon, yet, he compelled her to choose between him and her grandchild. Sheila has expressed remorse for failing to fulfill her commitment. Will Deacon make a return? Sheila is aware that Deacon and Taylor have shared at least one embrace. Nonetheless, Sheila remains persuaded that Taylor can penetrate Deacon's heart and persuade him to provide her another opportunity. Regrettably, this situation is poised to backfire on Sheila. Sheila has firmly stated that Deacon must not engage in infidelity with Taylor. What will occur when he does precisely that? Sheila Carter does not issue empty threats. Sheila informed Lee that she would kill Taylor if she engaged in sexual relations with Deacon. Lee indeed inquired to ascertain that Sheila did not intend it. Lee may wish for her new buddy to refrain from such actions, although viewers are aware that if Sheila threatened to kill Taylor, she would execute that threat without hesitation. Sheila confided in Taylor and will not tolerate disrespect as Deacon's wife. Sheila murdered Hunter Tylos Taylor from years past. Sheila shot Taylor, who was assumed deceased. Prince Omar Rashid, Kabir Beatty, had rescued her. Sheila has also shot her son, John Finn Finnegan, and Steffi Forrester. It is inconceivable that Sheila would refrain from shooting Taylor if presented with the opportunity. An inappropriate relationship. Taylor and Deacon maintain a physician-patient connection. Deacon and Taylor have deliberated on her association with Ridge Forrester. Both individuals have been adversely affected by Brooke Logan and Ridge. Taylor appears to be reciprocating Deacon's feelings and recognizes the necessity of managing the situation before it escalates. Assuming Taylor does not attempt to rectify the situation, Lee may unexpectedly discover them in a compromising position. Lee despises cheaters, given that her husband betrayed her and fathered a child with Sheila. Lee recognizes that cheating is unethical and is determined not to permit Taylor to exploit Sheila, especially after all the efforts she has made to reform. Lee Finnegan uncovers the truth. Lee may visit Taylor's office to caution her on Sheila's disapproval of their relationship. Upon observing Taylor and Deacon nearing the threshold, Lee may confront her. Cupid Steffi, Will's revelation, engagement complications. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful during the week of November 3rd indicate several unexpected developments. Fans might anticipate Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, to assume the role of Cupid. Spencer makes a startling revelation. Additionally, there are likely to be several unexpected developments about Hope Logan's latest engagement. Continue reading to discuss the forthcoming developments in the CBS soap opera. Deacon Sharp's obsession. Commence with Deacon Sharp. At times, the man wants to progress with Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig. Nonetheless, when confronted, the man asserts that he remains in love with Sheila Carter Sharp, Kimberlyn Brown. Subsequently, Deacon contacts Taylor, imploring them to convene and discuss the events that transpired. Although Deacon has been pursuing his therapist, Taylor has not actively intervened. Simultaneously, Sheila informed Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, that she would eliminate Taylor if she attempted to pursue Deacon. If Sheila discovers Deacon and Taylor engaged in a passionate kiss, it may place the therapist in significant peril. Steffi Forrester Finnegan's matrimonial facilitation. Steffi persistently urges her mother to avoid a loan. Although Taylor requires time to recover from Ridge Forrester, Steffi will desire her mother to be in a relationship. Steffi is beginning to perceive that Taylor is prepared for a new romantic involvement. Nonetheless, Taylor is exhibiting considerable secrecy regarding her relationship with Deacon. This secret could also jeopardize Taylor, even if she terminates the romance with Deacon. Sheila will just perceive the wrongdoing and attribute the responsibility to the brunette. Returning to Steffi, she might seek to locate a companion for her mother. However, Steffi is unaware that Taylor is already somewhat involved with Deacon. Simultaneously, there may be unexpected developments about the engagement of Hope and Liam Spencer. Remy Price's revelation. The Bold and the Beautiful discloses that Deke Sharp will present his partner to the individuals at Forrester Creations. Nonetheless, they are already acquainted with the young man. Hope Logan will be astonished as Electra Forrester completely loses composure. Is Deke compelled to pick between his professional aspirations and romantic relationships? Spencer's fury. Well, Spencer will undoubtedly become agitated upon discovering Remy's return. This may include intense confrontations and providing Deke with a historical overview. The latest episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful have plunged the Forrester and Finnegan households into an escalating vortex of emotional turmoil, moral ambiguity, and simmering danger, as the canvas is now dominated by a convergence of chaotic forces centering on Sheila Carter Sharp, Taylor Hayes, Deacon Sharp, Luna Nozawa, Steffi Forrester Finnegan, and the extended Forrester family, each of them maneuvering in ways that could either cement alliances or ignite irreversible destruction. Sheila, ever the calculating and fiercely protective matriarch, finds herself increasingly provoked not just by the apparent vulnerability and continued threats surrounding Luna, whose fate has now fallen squarely into the hands of her own grandmother, Linozawa, but also by the complicated, increasingly intimate dynamic between Taylor and Deacon, a relationship she has no intention of tolerating, having already warned Lee, in no uncertain terms, that any perceived betrayal of her marital claim over Deacon would not be met with idle threats, and the audience is left holding its collective breath because Sheila's history is well documented. She has shot Taylor, Finn, and even her supposed allies when they interfered with her objectives, proving time and again that when she makes a vow, particularly one tinged with vengeance or protective fervor, she acts with precision, ruthlessness, and a chilling absence of hesitation. And now, as Taylor's sessions with Deacon continue under the guise of professional therapy, Sheila's suspicions have been stoked, her instincts sharpened, and the simmering fire of jealousy and possessiveness threatens to erupt into something explosive, especially given that Deacon himself has not been entirely forthcoming, at times asserting that his heart still belongs to Sheila while simultaneously answering Taylor's calls, seeking counsel, and even being drawn into subtle yet unmistakable emotional intimacy, leaving Sheila oscillating between hope that her husband's heart can be reclaimed and dread that Taylor's influence may be impossible to overcome. At the same time, Luna Nozawa, whose own arc of obsession, delusion, and dangerous impulsivity has kept the canvas charged with tension, remains in custody after a shocking sequence in which she demonstrated both her capacity for violence and her obsessive strategies, targeting two men at Deacon's restaurant, injuring one of Sheila's remaining toes as a symbolic strike, and shooting Liam Spencer at point-blank range, miraculously not fatally, yet proving definitively that her capacity for harm is far from mitigated, and while Luna's schemes, from elaborate disguises to intoxication-fueled manipulations, have so far failed to bend the course of Will Spencer's affections, leaving her frustrated and determined, Sheila watches with a complex mixture of pride, fear, and strategic calculation, knowing that her granddaughter's entanglements could ultimately reflect back upon herself and reshape the alliances within the extended Forrester and Finnegan family networks. Within this tangled web, Deacon Sharp serves as both the catalyst and the fulcrum of escalating tensions, his own internal conflicts between past loyalty to Sheila and burgeoning feelings for Taylor placing him squarely in the eye of a storm that promises to leave collateral damage in its wake, and his therapist-patient relationship with Taylor, layered with the residual heartbreak from prior betrayals involving Brooke Logan and Ridge Forrester, only intensifies the ethical and emotional stakes, leaving viewers to question whether professional boundaries can survive amidst the charged atmosphere of desire, resentment, and revenge. Taylor navigates a delicate situation, cognizant of her burgeoning emotions and the ethical ramifications of her actions with Deacon. Simultaneously, Steffi, ever the watchful and protective daughter, attempts to facilitate a romantic connection, unaware of the complexities involved. The audience observes a sequence of conflicting intentions and possible misinterpretations that could lead to catastrophe, particularly in light of Sheila's relentless scrutiny and propensity for violence in defense of her perceived rights. Sheila's confiding in Lee Finnegan about the potential romantic peril, juxtaposed against Lee's own moral compass and past experiences with infidelity, sets the stage for a tense confrontation, one in which Lee may have to reveal the truth to prevent catastrophe, and yet, the narrative remains riddled with unpredictability because Sheila's capacity for manipulation, coupled with her propensity for extreme action, renders every step of the unfolding drama simultaneously thrilling and terrifying, creating an intricate lattice of cause and effect in which each character's choices resonate far beyond their immediate consequences, as seen in the layered developments surrounding Will Spencer's discovery regarding Remy Price and the consequent shifts in engagement plans for Hope Logan, where familial loyalties, romantic entanglements, and professional aspirations collide in ways that threaten to destabilize the Forrester empire and the Finnegan household alike, and as the canvas continues to depict the escalating tension, it becomes increasingly clear that no character operates in isolation, that Sheila's obsessive protectiveness, Taylor's delicate navigation of ethics and emotions, Deacon's conflicted heart, Luna's unpredictable actions, and Steffi's matchmaking interventions are inextricably intertwined, with every revelation, secret, and misstep acting as both spark and tinder for the potentially explosive confrontations looming on the horizon. the dramatic tension is further heightened by the calculated psychological warfare that both Sheila and Luna are capable of, with Sheila's past experiences of manipulating, threatening, and ultimately harming those who cross her colliding with Luna's own inherited tendencies toward deflection, obsession, and strategic retaliation, forming a dynamic in which grandmother and granddaughter mirror, challenge, and amplify one another's destructive potential, while the moral and ethical boundaries of the remaining characters, particularly Taylor and Lee, are tested to their limits, as they attempt to mediate, advise, and prevent irreversible damage without alienating those they care about or igniting further conflict. Amidst these high-stakes personal battles, the interwoven romantic narratives, such as Deacon and Taylor's potentially combustible attraction, Will and Hope's shifting engagement dynamics, and Steffi's own entanglements in her relentless drive to influence outcomes for those she loves, add layers of tension, intrigue, and unpredictability, ensuring that every scene is charged with possibility, threat, and emotional resonance, with viewers acutely aware that any momentary lapse in judgment could trigger a cascade of consequences ranging from heartbreak to physical danger, legal ramifications, and irreversible familial rifts. As Deacon and Taylor continue their clandestine interactions under the professional pretext of therapy, Sheila's heightened awareness and Lee's potential intervention create a volatile triangle in which power, influence, and emotional vulnerability are all at play, and the consequences of each whispered conversation, furtive glance, and emotional compromise are amplified exponentially, because in the world of the bold and the beautiful, the boundaries between past transgressions and present motivations are constantly blurred, the moral certainties of one day can be upended the next, and the deeply rooted histories of betrayal, obsession, and loyalty ensure that no character is ever entirely safe or predictable, resulting in a narrative ecosystem where trust is tenuous, intentions are perpetually suspect, and the potential for both heroism and catastrophe exists in equal measure. Furthermore, Luna's incarceration, while temporarily limiting her physical mobility, does not diminish the threat she poses emotionally or psychologically, particularly as Sheila continues to observe, calculate, and, in some ways, sympathize with her granddaughter's motivations, recognizing in Luna the same fierce, uncompromising streak that has defined much of Sheila's own storied past, and as the grandmother-granddaughter bond asserts itself, layered with shared tendencies toward obsession, strategic thinking, and moral deflection, the canvas is set for a collision of generational traits, impulses, and consequences that could reshape the moral and relational architecture of both the Nozawa and Forrester Finnegan's worlds, as Steffi continues to act as matchmaker, attempting to orchestrate companionship. For Taylor, she inadvertently risks exacerbating the very tension she seeks to mitigate, because her interventions, grounded in care and optimism, do not account for Sheila's surveillance, Deacon's indecision, or Taylor's ethical hesitations, and this tension is mirrored in the unfolding romantic developments of Will Spencer, whose reactions to Remy Price's reintroduction into the narrative, coupled with Hope Logan's engagement maneuvers and Electra Forrester's dramatic responses, underscore the soap opera's signature interplay between love, rivalry, ambition, and personal history, all converging in a narrative kaleidoscope where each character's decisions reverberate across multiple interpersonal axes. Within this maelstrom, the audience witnesses a careful choreography of suspense, emotional investment, and narrative acceleration, in which Sheila's lethal decisiveness, Taylor's ethical navigation, Deacon's conflicted loyalties, Lee's moral interventions, Luna's unpredictable behavior, Steffi's matchmaking, Will's emotional discoveries, and Hope's engagement twists coalesce into a storytelling experience that is as intricate as it is volatile, where each dialogue, glance, and secret carries the weight of potential disaster, redemption, or shocking revelation, and where the overlapping arcs of past traumas, current desires, and future possibilities create a rich, multi-layered tableau of high-stakes drama, psychological intrigue, and emotional intensity. Ultimately, the unfolding storylines illustrate the enduring genius of the bold and the beautiful's ability to weave together romance, obsession, betrayal, family loyalty, moral ambiguity, and the perpetual tension between personal desire and ethical obligation, presenting a narrative landscape where Sheila Carter Sharp's threats and protective instincts, Taylor Hayes's ethical and emotional balancing act, Deacon Sharp's conflicted heart, Luna Nozawa's dangerous obsession, Lee Finnegan's principled Interventions: Steffi Forrester's matchmaking efforts, Will Spencer's discovery-induced fury, and Hope Logan's engagement challenges all interact to produce a serialized drama in which anticipation, suspense, and emotional resonance are maximized at every turn, and where the audience is compelled to continually reassess alliances, motives, and the potential consequences of every action, knowing that in this world of intertwined fates, the next scene could bring a revelation, a confrontation, or a disaster of Shakespearean proportions, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats as the story accelerates toward inevitable collision points where love, revenge, morality, and survival are all inextricably entwined, and where the fate of each character, from the calculating matriarch Sheila to the ethically cautious Taylor, from the impulsive and dangerous Luna to the manipulative yet loyal Deacon, from the protective Steffi to the morally vigilantly, and from the emotionally reactive Will to the engaged Hope, is constantly in flux, ensuring that the narrative momentum remains taut, the stakes remain sky-high, and the viewer's emotional engagement is secured as the soap opera continues to explore the complex interplay of desire, loyalty, betrayal, and the unpredictable consequences of human action across a canvas that is as expansive as it is intimate, as morally ambiguous as it is emotionally resonant, and as relentlessly dramatic as the intertwined lives of Los Angeles's most entangled and iconic characters, with every development, threat, and revelation serving to heighten tension, provoke speculation, and underscore the timeless appeal of storytelling that combines human fragility, ambition, passion, and the inexorable pull of fate, resulting in a narrative ecosystem where Sheila's fierce protective instincts, Taylor's careful negotiation of feelings, Deacon's oscillating loyalties, Luna's dangerous resourcefulness, Lee's moral clarity, Steffi's matchmaking fervor, Will's emotional volatility, and Hope's engagement maneuvers collectively sustain a high-stakes, emotionally charged, and narratively compelling drama that is emblematic of the bold and the beautiful at its most engrossing, unpredictable, and sensationally addictive, capturing the audience in a spiraling web of intrigue, suspense, and heightened emotional resonance that defines the very essence of daytime television drama in America.